everyone. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Miss Michelle N. Baylor, and I am your presenter throughout this video. To get started, let us take a look at the overhead projector. According to Marhan, in 1960s, Roger Appledorn, a young engineer who worked at 3M, was encouraged to develop a new idea he had about thermographic imaging. He developed a machine that would project writing on clear film into a flat surface. When the overhead projector first emerged, it had very little success. Appledorn and his team visited school teachers in order to market the overhead projector. The efforts paid off, creating more demands for the new chalkboard, which was the overhead projector. The rest is history. The overhead projector was then on top of its game and meeting all the production deadlines and advancing in the market. Then there was a sudden decline of the overhead projector in the 1990s. This emerging technology in my workplace was then replaced by the Elmo TT-02S document camera. In order to understand the decline of the overhead projector, let us take a look at the McLuhan law. It addresses the following four questions. What does the media enhances? What does the media obsoletes? What does the media retrieves and rekindles? What does the media reverses? The reason for us no longer using this technology are it's limited to use in the classroom, obsolete technology, and the purchase of transparencies are necessary in order to use it properly. My school, coupled with the entire school system, decided to replace the overhead projector with the Elmo TT-02S document camera. The document camera is a great addition to our school because it provides real-time image, and it has the capabilities of zooming in and zooming out features. This emerging technology would be integrated across the curriculum through the use of enhancing demonstrations, investigations, and text projection lessons. The document camera would then provide opportunities for teachers to build accessibility, engagement, and interactivity from their students in their classroom environments. Teachers could enhance this use by connecting the Elmo TT-02S document camera to a computer and to a liquid crystal display projector. The big million-dollar question is, why has it been obsolete? Or why has it become obsolete? To address this million-dollar question, let us first listen to two educators that I interviewed, and then I will discuss the 6 forces that drive emerging technologies. Good afternoon. This afternoon, I will be interviewing Mrs. Sarah Bafford. And I have a few questions I would like to ask you.
Sure.
Why do you think the overhead projector became obsolete and then replaced by the Elmo TT-02 document camera?
I think one of the biggest reasons why the overhead projector became obsolete was its functionality. It really limited what teachers and personnel were able to use as a resource, and therefore something had to be developed that offered them more flexibility. They were then no longer being forced to use just a transparent film, which limited what they were able to use by using the live document feeds. They were able to use any sort of object and be able to project that on a larger image for students to be able to see.
Okay, very good. Question number two. How can the Elmo document camera be improved?
I think one of the things that we have to look at with improving the use of a document camera is the way it's connected for computers. Right now, the biggest limitation is space. The fact that most of our document cameras have to be within about a 16-foot range or less to a computer system really limits the way a teacher is able to set up their room. So being able to look at maybe some wireless components or changing other types of cording that we can use to be able to work with that system will definitely give teachers more functionality in their classrooms.
Question number three. What do you think is the future for the overhead projector and the Elmo in our school, district, and nation?
Well, currently we've been under the process of phasing out overhead projectors. They have been used as kind of a fail-safe for if a document camera either wasn't available or for whatever reason became unfunctional at that time. Throughout Baltimore County Public Schools, we are working on increasing the number of Elmos that are available to all teachers. Currently, most of our schools have about 50% of their classrooms that have available document cameras to them. We're working on increasing that to 100% just because of the level of engagement and teacher comfort that we've been seeing since the use of them.
Question 4 is, in our school or district, what do you think will be the next emerging technology?
One of the things that we're actually working on throughout the tech world is looking at mobile technology in student-owned devices. Thinking of things that students already own that they can bring into the classroom, whether it be a cellular phone or other wireless technologies. So looking at students being able to bring in their own device in order to interact with the material that teachers are presenting is where we're probably headed in the next direction.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Good afternoon. My name is Raquel Smith, and I retired from the Baltimore City Public School System in June of 2011 after 41 years of service, beginning as a social studies teacher, becoming a social studies department head, and also doing training, new teacher facilitated training for new teachers in Baltimore City for about 10 years.
Okay. Ms. Smith, I would like to ask you a few questions. Question number 1. Why do you think that the overhead projector became obsolete and then replaced by the Elmo TT-02 document camera?
Okay, in some systems it's still not obsolete, but for the reasons that I would give would be, number one, just the mere use of it. You can do a lot more things with the document camera and the other technology than you can with the overhead. You're talking about size, you're talking about something that's more bulky, but you're talking about with the Elmo and the other technology, you can take those with you and travel with you, and you can also use them in areas where you don't have a lot of space. So I would think with the incoming technology that people would jump on things like that, that are portable, that have far more reaching uses than the overhead projector.
Okay, thank you. Question number 2. How can the Elmo document camera be improved?
Not really having had access to that on a large scale, only when I was a new teacher facilitating in the summer months. I think that one of the things that will probably have to be done to it is to make sure that it has a lot of flexibility, that you don't have to stand in one place to use it, that you do have remotes and things like that that you can move around. I know there are remotes, so that you can still do instruction, but you don't have to remain in one space. You can be flexible and move throughout to assess student learning and understanding.
Okay, thank you. Question number 3. What do you think is the future for the overhead projector and the Elmo in our school, district, and nation?
Number 1, I really think the overhead projector is going to be obsolete. And unless we can make sure that we have the projectors that are very slim and easy portable and easy to carry and store, I really foresee that as being obsolete. But the Elmo and the other technology are more usable, more teacher friendly, more student friendly. You no longer have to prepare certain documents in a certain way like you do with overhead, making a transparency or writing on it. You can take the materials that you're working with on a regular basis with your students and simply put it under the document camera or put it under Elmo. So it's more teacher friendly, it's more accessible, and you don't have to do a lot of pre-preparation for it.
Okay, thank you. And last question, number 4. In our school or district, what do you think will be the next emerging technology?
That's a hard one. I really don't know what would be the next emerging technology, but I can foresee making sure that there are teacher technology centers in every classroom, as opposed to having teachers have to use these things individually and not have a central location. So I think that to take this technology and to put it in some kind of teacher center, I could foresee that being done. But I think that Elmo is really going to be, along with the document camera, what's right now is going to be used for the future, because they're so flexible and it's so easy to use.
Okay. Thank you very much. Is there anything else you would like to add?
No, you're quite welcome. I'm just grateful and have a lot of gratitude that at this point we're using a lot of technology, because technology enhances student learning. And in most instances where teachers don't use technology, because children are audio and visual at the same time, children don't learn as well and they don't store the learning. So I'm just grateful that at this day and time in 2012 that school systems have access for teachers to use different kind of technology to enhance student learning.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome.
We will now discuss the 6 forces that drive emerging technologies. Thornburg 2009 described the term evolutionary technology as a new technology which is the progression or growth of a previous one. As you can see, the overhead projector was updated and enhanced for better viewing of pictures and information. Thornburg 2009 discussed in his video Rhymes of History that the future will be like the past, only with cooler toys. He then quoted Mark Twain. History may not repeat itself, but it sure rhymes a lot. For example, the overhead projector took the place of the slate and straw writing, chalk, and the blackboard. The media that replaced the overhead projector was the document camera. Science fiction definitely has a significant impact on emerging technologies. Shows such as Lost in Space, The Twilight Zone, and The Outer Limits take you places beyond your wildest dreams. The next force of technology is disruptive technologies. Thornburg 2009 cited Clayton Christensen that disruptive technologies are like wild cards in which a new technology suddenly appears and creates a brand new way of thinking about a technological task. Thornburg 2009 stressed that if a technology slowly enters the market or workplace, it is not considered a disruptive technology. Therefore, the overhead projector is not a disruptive technology. Thornburg 2009 indicated that increasing returns involve two competitive technologies in which one is chosen and the other one disappears. The overhead projector did not fall into this category because it did not have any competition. According to Thornburg 2009, Red Queens is a process by which two technologies move ahead of their competitors because of their fierce competition. This does not hold true to the overhead projector because it did not have any competition. It completely dominated its market. Now, to address the digital divide. Despite the fact that the overhead projector was replaced by the document camera, it did not reduce the digital divide. Soloway indicated that the overhead projector was not connected to the internet, nor had the capabilities to collaborate globally. Evolutionary technology for the document camera. Thornburg 2009 described the term evolutionary technology as a new technology which is a progression or growth of a previous one. In the 1998, the document camera was used to magnify and project the images of actual three-dimensional objects in transparencies. This technology is a high-quality presentation tool that can be used in conjunction with the computer or whiteboard for classroom use, conferences, and lectures. According to Wikipedia, the document camera models are portable, desktop, and ceiling visualizers. Thornburg 2009 stressed that the future will be like the past, only with cooler toys. Document candles rekindles the use of slates and chalkboards and replaces the overhead projector. Perhaps the document camera will eventually be replaced with the state-of-the-art digital camera with additional added features. Science fiction has a significant impact on the document camera because it takes you places where you have never been before. For example, Sounds of Thunder, Stargate Atlantis and Grimm movies will take you somewhere beyond your wildest dreams. The next force of technology is disruptive technologies. Thornburg 2009 cited Clayton Christensen that disruptive technologies are like wild cards in which a new technology suddenly appears and creates a brand new way of thinking about a technological task. Thornburg 2009 stressed that if a technology slowly enters the market or workplace, it is not considered a disruptive technology. The document camera is not a disruptive technology because it's gradually entered the marketplace. The document camera, like the overhead projector, do not fall into the category of increasing returns because it did not have any competition when entering the market and the workplace. Thornburg 2009 emphasized that red queens is a process by which two technologies move ahead of their competitors because of their fierce competition. This is applicable to the document camera because it did not have any competition. It is on top of its game in the market. Now, for the digital divide, although the document camera replaced the overhead projector, it did not reduce the digital divide. This device is connected to your computer. However, it does not have the capability of connecting to the internet. The second $1 million question is the future for the overhead projector in the Alamo TT02S in my school district and nation? What is the future for it? The future is beyond my wildest dream. I think it's safe to say that Thornburg 2009 argued that the next decade would consist of virtual worlds. This is the most common place that human beings can collaborate and experience new information. He stressed that the future emerging technologies can be something from the past, Second Life, or something bigger than Second Life, or where the internet become the tool of the future and our dreams become reality.